Most people rush into intimacy and then spend months dealing with confusion they could have avoided in 5 minutes of honesty. Thoughtful. The truth is, the right questions don't ruin the moment. They reveal whether the moment is even worth having. Before anything physical happens, there's a deeper layer most people ignore. Not because it's unimportant, but because it requires courage. Anyone can create attraction. Very few can create clarity. And that's the difference between a moment that feels good and one that actually means something. Because when emotions get involved without understanding, things don't get deeper, they get complicated. If this is shifting the way you see attraction and connection, curious, take a second to like the video and subscribe, because most people learn this too late, and you're here early. Most people avoid it because it demands honesty instead of excitement. Size. Asking whether this choice is coming from genuine connection or simple impulse changes everything about the experience. Impulse feels urgent, almost like a pull that needs to be satisfied immediately, but it often disappears just as quickly as it appears. Connection, on the other hand, feels calm, grounded, and clear, even if the attraction is strong. When actions come from impulse, they are usually driven by loneliness, validation, or the desire to escape something internal. That is why the aftermath can feel confusing or empty. But when the decision comes from connection, there is alignment between emotion, intention, and action. There is no inner conflict, no second guessing afterward. This question forces a pause, and that pause is powerful because it separates temporary desire from something that actually holds meaning and direction beyond the moment itself and stays steady even after emotions settle. This is where most confusion quietly begins. It is not about making promises or defining the future in rigid terms, but about understanding what this moment represents on a personal level. Asking what this will mean tomorrow creates awareness of emotional consequences before they unfold. Many people move forward without considering how their feelings might shift once the intensity fades, and that is where misalignment starts to grow. Intention brings clarity to whether this is just a shared experience in the present or something that carries emotional weight beyond it. Without that clarity, expectations can form silently, leading to disappointment that was never openly acknowledged. When intention is understood, actions become more grounded and honest rather than reactive or uncertain. It allows a person to stay aligned with their own values instead of being pulled by the moment. This awareness does not remove attraction. It refines it into something that feels clean, intentional, and emotionally steady rather than unpredictable and unclear. Centers on emotional safety, which is often mistaken for comfort in the moment rather than stability beneath it. Attraction can create a powerful sense of closeness, but that closeness is not always supported by trust or understanding. Emotional safety is the ability to feel at ease without needing to perform, impress, or hide parts of oneself. It is revealed in small signals like how openly thoughts can be expressed, how reactions are received, and whether there is respect even in silence. Without this foundation, even strong attraction can feel unstable because there is an underlying tension that something is being forced or rushed. When emotional safety is present, there is no pressure to accelerate the experience or prove anything. The connection feels natural rather than strategic. This question helps identify whether the environment supports openness or subtly demands conformity. It brings awareness to whether the connection can hold honesty without discomfort, allowing the experience to feel secure, grounded, and emotionally real rather than uncertain and fragile. Focuses on boundaries, which many people misunderstand as obstacles rather than signals of self-respect and awareness. Boundaries are not about restriction. They are about recognizing what feels aligned and what feels forced in the moment. When something is right, there is a natural sense of ease, not pressure or urgency. This question asks whether the pace feels mutual or if it is being driven by expectation, desire to impress, or fear of losing the moment. When boundaries are ignored, there is often a subtle discomfort that gets pushed aside, and that discomfort tends to resurface later as regret or confusion. Respecting boundaries creates clarity because it ensures that every step is chosen, not assumed. It also reveals whether there is patience and understanding within the dynamic or a hidden push toward speed. True attraction does not disappear when boundaries are present. It becomes more intentional and grounded. This awareness keeps the experience aligned with personal values instead of being shaped by external pressure or fleeting emotion. Communication, and it goes far beyond simply talking. It explores whether honesty can exist without fear of judgment or pressure to respond in a certain way. Many interactions rely on surface level conversation, where people say what feels safe instead of what is real. This question challenges that pattern by asking if there is space for genuine expression, even when it is imperfect or vulnerable. True communication is not about being smooth or impressive, it is about being clear and present. When openness is met with understanding rather than resistance, it creates a sense of ease that deepens connection naturally. Without this, there is often a hidden tension where words are filtered and intentions remain unclear. That tension can lead to misinterpretation and emotional distance, even in close moments. When communication is aligned, there is no need to guess or assume because both clarity and respect are present in the exchange, allowing everything to feel direct, balanced, and emotionally grounded. Self-awareness, which is often overlooked but is the most powerful factor in any intimate encounter. Self-awareness is the ability to understand why a choice is being made, what emotions are driving it, and how it aligns with personal values. Without it, actions are often reactive, guided by desire, validation, or external pressure rather than conscious intention. This question asks whether there is clarity about one's own feelings, motivations, and limits before taking action. It helps prevent moments that feel exciting in the short term but leave emotional confusion or regret afterward. When self-awareness is present, every decision becomes intentional rather than impulsive. It allows for recognition of what feels authentic versus what is performed to impress or please. It also creates the internal calm needed to respond rather than react, ensuring that attraction and connection grow naturally without compromising personal integrity. This awareness ultimately determines whether an experience is meaningful, aligned, and emotionally sustainable, rather than fleeting or destabilizing. This is not about asking perfect questions or creating a flawless moment. It is about choosing awareness over impulse. Most people chase intensity, but overlook clarity, and that is why what feels powerful in the moment often turns confusing afterward. When there is emotional readiness, clear intention, real comfort, respected boundaries, and honest communication, everything changes. The experience stops being something to figure out later and becomes something that already makes sense in the present. There is no need to overthink, no need to question what it meant, because the foundation was understood from the beginning. What truly matters is not how fast things happen, but how aligned they feel while they are happening. When actions come from that alignment, there is no regret attached, only a sense of certainty and calm. And that is the difference between a temporary connection and something that actually holds meaning beyond a single moment and stays clear even after everything else fades.